Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us here. We're coming to you at this strange hour because we just want to share some information with you this afternoon. My name is Randolph Critchlow, and I'm going to be with you for the next half an hour or so as I bring to you some information that we thought was pertinent and important that we come to you. For those persons who are on their lunch break, we hope that you are joining us, and we hope that you're sharing the live stream right now. Again, welcome those persons joining us internationally, in the region, and right here in Guyana. Folks, overnight some information has broken, and we have some bit to share with you this afternoon. It is about 12:21 in Georgetown, Guyana, and we're going to be sharing some information with you. As you said, overnight some information came, that information with a few persons that we will have invite to the show this afternoon. We're bringing a special report to you because we want to bring this information to you. The Trinidad and Tobago government has put out a release as we continue to see the fallout from a vaccine gate here in Guyana. We continue to see the fallout of a vaccine gate, the confusion that surrounds the Sputnik-V vaccine procured by the PPP government at overpriced amount. The overpriced, unapproved Sputnik vaccine procured from a middleman. We continue to see the fallout of that. This morning, the Trinidad and Tobago government responding with a lengthy statement. We'll go through that statement in just a bit. Also this morning, we see the leader of the opposition sending a letter to Mr. Frank Anthony. Dr. Frank Anthony, who is, of course, performing the duties of, temporarily so, performing the duties of Public Health Minister. And we'll go through that letter for you. We thank you for joining. We want to go through these things. Also, we're getting some more disturbing images out of region number 10 with the flooding situation. They will bring that video to you. And additional video we will show you of how the PPP has tried desperately to try to spin this situation that they have on their hands now, where they are being asked to give information on this Sputnik vaccine. And they're now trying to spin it, of course, to say that the APNU AFC is on some anti-vaccine campaign, when all the leader of the opposition asks for is that information surrounding this batch, given the nature, how it was procured, that the information be made public. So we'll get into that. But first, we woke up to a release from the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, that is out of Trinidad and Tobago. And we'll get into that now because it's quite a lot to unpack. And let me ensure that we have all the details, because I want you to follow us here, because we want you to get all the information. Right. We woke up to this release coming out of the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. This is Trinidad and Tobago. Out of Trinidad and Tobago, for those persons who have not seen it as yet. I know it was circulating, but let me just share what it says here. Trinidad and Tobago condemns the statement by Guyana's advisor to the Minister of Health and the GCCI. This is Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, Inc. And what is this? Why is the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs condemning these statements? Folks, again, we see the PPP's rush. We see the PPP's rush to spread lies, propaganda, and spin in the public domain. And we see them in implicating Prime Minister Keith Rowley. And this is what caused the Trinidad government to respond 18th of June 2021. Let us go through this release together so that everybody is caught up. The Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has noted with concern the recent misleading, disrespectful, and potentially damaging comments in the Guyanese media ascribed to Dr. Leslie Ramsammy, advisor to the Ministry of Health of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. as well as most reprehensible and slanderous statements ascribed to the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry directed against Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the current chairman of CARICOM. So this is the opening statement, of course. This opening statement, of course, on that issue. Folks, we are dealing with this. Let's just take this in. Right. Folks, let's just take, sorry. Some persons are trying to call in right now. Right. So folks, sorry about that. Persons are trying to call in. Let's not call in now. Let's deal with this particular issue here. Right. Let's continue in this release because this is quite interesting. The comments and statements attempt to associate Prime Minister Rowley with views which he does not hold and which he has never expressed. It is noteworthy that in his published comment, Dr. Ramsammy could not offer one single quotation from the Prime Minister to support his false accusation. Nor did Dr. Ramsammy offer or share a shred of evidence to support his misleading claims. At no point in time has the Prime Minister ever disparaged the vaccine program in Guyana, nor has he ever implied that the vaccine in use in Guyana are defective, right, or unsafe. And it's extremely unfortunate that the advisor to the Minister of Health would use falsehood to publicly attack the Prime Minister of a friendly neighboring country. This is the PPP. This is the PPP, folks. This is the PPP. And as I said before, we're going to show you some video just now that they spun all of the news coming out of thing yesterday of the press conference and make it seem as if people were saying X or telling you not to take the vaccine. When they were at fault for not giving the public the right information, or not releasing all of the information in a timely manner. Let's go down because this statement continues. Story better, as the people say. The statement of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as published in the Guyana media, also makes reference to the Prime Minister. And I want you to understand something. And we'll go to why is it that they're implicating the Prime Minister. There's a video circulating, and I'm going to show it to you. Right? Implicates the Prime Minister. And are completely false and appears to simply repeat the fake narrative. You hear the words used to describe these PPP people? Fake narrative of Dr. Ramsammy. Further, the chamber statements disgusting slurs to the effect that Prime Minister Rowley, right? Right. Hold on. My computer screen. I don't know if you guys are seeing it there. Oh yes, you're still seeing it here. Right? Right. Now I'm seeing it again. Right? Fulfills his historic trait of demonstrating scant disregard for the lives of Guyanese. This is what they said. That the man fulfills his historic trait of demonstrating scant disregard for Guyanese. Must be regarded as, in particular, right, a scurrilous attack on the chairman of CARICOM. And this is the kicker here for me, folks. Ironically, right? That slanderous statement. This is it. The PPP and the friends jump out to attack Rowley for saying that Guyana used vaccines that were not approved by WHO, which is true. Which is true. But they attack the man. Right? And this is the kicker here. Ironically, that slanderous statement was issued by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce mere days after Prime Minister Rowley instructed the relevant arms of the government to organize much needed relief supplies and assistance for Guyana. In response to the government of Guyana request through CARICOM to help with their response to heavy flooding. Further, Dr. Rowley, as chairman of CARICOM, has been well recognized for his robust and consistent advocacy and frequent communication with the US and global leaders on behalf of all CARICOM people, including people of Guyana, in pursuit of greater access to COVID-19 vaccines for our region. So they ain't thinking about that. They just attack the man. They just decide to attack Rowley because Rowley said that Guyana was using unapproved WHO unapproved vaccines, which is correct. The man wasn't lying. The man said Guyana ended up with more vaccines because they used the Sputnik vaccine that wasn't approved by WHO. Apparently, that was wrong. He shouldn't say that. And attack the man, and the friends in the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce decided that they're going to go further and attack the man personally. His historic trait of demonstrating scant disregards for the lives of Guyanese. That is it. Sad situation. So if I can just scroll to the last paragraph here. And this is it, folks. This is the PPP for you. The Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs strongly condemns the published falsehoods against Prime Minister Rowley and by Dr. Ramsammy and the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and calls upon the authorities in Guyana to disassociate themselves with such unwanted, scurrilous, and disrespectful attacks on the sitting chair of CARICOM. Right? Which incidentally is headquartered in Georgetown, Guyana. Folks, you couldn't make this up. You couldn't make this up. As I'm saying this to you, folks, I want to share with you a video. I want to share with you a video now of how dastardly, right? How shameful they've tried to twist what the leader of the opposition said about the vaccine. And after this video, we're going to read for you the letter that the leader of the opposition sent to Dr. Anthony today. Let me see if I can play this for you. And then we are going to
proceeded to make a conclusion that the vaccine is fake.
Right. Let's see if I can play this for you. Share. I want to share the video with you. Share screen. Right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Right.
But proceeded to make a...
This video, folks, shows the Dr. Frank Anthony trying his level best to spin what he heard in the press conference to make it seem as if Joseph Harmon said that the vaccine was fake. Let me share it for you. Let me share it for you. Oh boy. We seem not to be getting the video, folks, but we are going to get it for you just now. We're going to get it for you because I want to play it. Let me see if I can bring it from here. Probably need to open it differently. Right. But stick with us, folks. We're going to show you. I want to ensure that everybody sees the double speak, so to speak, of the PPP. Right. Of course, in the press conference yesterday, as we get the video up, the leader of the opposition said, look, I'm not here to kill the vaccine. All we want, all Guyanese deserve, is that the PPP share with us the information that they should share. And everybody knows where exactly you got it from, who you got it from, what's the batch number, everything. Share. Right. All right, so this is the video. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you.
But proceeded to make a conclusion that the vaccine is fake. And based on his analysis that the vaccine is fake, has called for us to suspend the use of the vaccine in Guyana. Well, since he hasn't produced any evidence and there's nothing to go by, and of course he is not a medical person, why should we bother with him?
Of course, Mr. Harmon never said that the vaccine was fake.
Guyanese, we have to basically ask that whatever we're doing about Sputnik has to be now made extremely public. We will be asking the Guyana Revenue Authority to supply us with all the relevant information in relation to this shipment or shipments of the Sputnik vaccines. In fact, we have already written the Gamaleya Institute that produces the Sputnik vaccine for confirmation of details, and we shall communicate this with the World Trade Organization and with Guyanese in general. I think it's a matter of our health. Our health is now at risk, and therefore we have to have all of the information as it relates to this vaccine. I have been on record as encouraging Guyanese to be vaccinated. The APN is on record as encouraging Guyanese to be vaccinated. But this, what has happened here, is now putting the entire program, the entire process, in some level of doubt. And so I just want to make that very clear.
Right. Just want to make that very clear, that what he's asking is that all the information be made public about the vaccine. Never said that the vaccine was fake. He said that there are reports that they found fake vaccines in Mexico. But he took the vaccine, he took Sputnik, and he wants, and other persons took it. But given the information that has come to light about the procurement method and the people that you got it from, the shady nature, that we should ensure that the public gets all the information. Right? This is very, very, very important. Right? And I want to share with you, as we're talking about that now, let me share with you the letter that was sent to the minister this morning. And this is now coming to light. This is now coming to light. So let me share the letter with you, persons to know exactly what is happening. Right. Letter to Frank Anthony. Information on Sputnik-V vaccine. This is from the leader of the opposition to the Minister of Health. information about Sputnik-V vaccine. Reference is made to your disclosure in the National Assembly on Monday the 14th that the Sputnik-V vaccines procured for Guyana for use in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic were not procured directly from the government of Russia, but through a middleman who you disclose to be Sheikh Al Maktoum. I ain't gonna worry with all them names. Accordingly, I shall be grateful if you could produce the following information. Note, the entire PPP running around saying that Mr. Harmon is saying that the vaccine fake. Mr. Harmon said that we should take pause until the PPP provides all of the relevant information. The following information: the quantities and batch numbers of the vaccines purchased from Al Maktoum, shipment information including transshipment information, and the conditions under which the vaccines were stored in shipment, the procurement process utilized, including due diligence done on the supplier. You would agree that it's important that Guyanese be assured that their health and safety is not being jeopardized to this end. Transparency and public disclosure of the details surrounding the procurement of Sputnik-V vaccine are important. I look forward to your earliest provision for the information requested, as it will go a long way to assuaging the understandable concerns of Guyanese. Sincerely, Joseph Harmon, leader of the opposition. Folks, this is what is happening. It's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. The leader of the opposition, given the revelations that were made recently, not only in Parliament, but the Norwegian newspaper VG, given those revelations, Guyanese have a right to be concerned about where this vaccine came from, given the nature and the background of those persons who the government procured it from. So that is the heart of the matter. That is the meat of the matter. That is it. That's the meat of the matter. But the PPP would want you to believe that the opposition is saying not to take the vaccine. Note that Guyana has AstraZeneca and it has access to Sinopharm vaccines also. But I want to play for you another video, which I find very interesting. I want to play for you another video, which I find extremely interesting. Right? Let's see if I can pull it up for you. This one, of course, let me play it now. Open with, right.
What he is instigating them to do is not to take the vaccine.
Right. So we're talking here again about the PPP's lies and spins. Again, the Minister of Health went on television and said that Mr. Harmon is instigating people not to take the vaccine. Mr. Harmon never said not to take the vaccine. He publicly expressed that you should take the vaccine. The problem is that Mr. Harmon has put the onus of provision of information on the PPP government, and this is a problem. Right. Right. So Dave Anderson is commenting and he's saying that people have a right to know what is happening and where the stuff is coming from. Anyway, let us play this video. I want to play this particular video for you, because I want to show you the duplicity the duplicity of the PPP, jumping at the opportunity to make it seem as though Mr. Harmon didn't encourage persons to take the vaccine.
What he is instigating them to do is not to take the vaccine and to put their lives at risk. And this is quite unfortunate for someone who is in the leadership position to take such a stance and to deliberately endanger people in this country.
I have heard the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Joseph Harmon, the Honorable Kemrat Ramjatan, the Honorable Karen Cummins, and other members of Parliament on the opposition benches, also calling on people to take their vaccines. I would like to applaud and recognize their efforts and to encourage them to continue to spread the word about vaccination.
This is the kind of stuff we got to put a stop to. This is not good. This is bad.
What he is instigating them to do is not to take the vaccine and to put their lives at risk. And this is quite unfortunate for someone who is in the leadership position to take such a stance and to deliberately endanger people in this country.
I have heard the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Joseph Harmon, the Honorable Kemrat Ramjatan, the Honorable Karen Cummins, and other members of Parliament on the opposition benches, also calling on people to take their vaccines. I would like to applaud and recognize their efforts and to encourage them to continue to spread the word about vaccination.
Continue to spread the word about vaccination. This is Frank Anthony. Same Frank Anthony saying that the opposition telling people not to take the vaccine. Then he is standing in Parliament a few days ago saying he applauds the effort of the opposition leader and the members of opposition members of Parliament for encouraging persons to take the vaccine. Frank, you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. Folks, we're exposing the PPP every single day. Every single day. And we'll continue to expose them. We want to turn over now. We're going to be joining Annette Ferguson for another program facing the nation. We're going to be making way for that, but we're happy to bring you this breaking news. Remember, let's just give you a little recap. And before we go, let me share some one other thing with you, because we're still following the flood situation in Guyana. So let me share a bit with you, because we're following the flood situation. It's still happening. It is still occurring in our country, and you know, the problem is that persons may have forgotten. But let us not forget that persons are still suffering in various regions with flooding. And let us keep them in our minds and our hearts and our thoughts. Let us share what is happening in region number 10. We share. Right, folks, that is what is happening in region number 10. We continue to follow the developments there. We continue to pray for those persons who are still in that flood situation. Before we go, we want to invite in our political correspondent, Ms. Nicole Telford, to give us some insight from, I know she always has her ears to the ground, so it's always good to hear from her in terms of what the people are saying on the ground. We're interested to know. We hope that we can get her. Sorry, we can get her on now, Ms. Nicole Telford, our political correspondent, because we want to, of course, recap the breaking news at this hour. The Trinidad and Tobago government responding to the salacious comments of Ms. Dr. Ramsammy and the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Nicole, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Randy, and good afternoon to your viewers.
All right, thank you very much, Nicole, for being a part of the program. But I wanted to get your comments on the clapback by Keith Rowley and the Trinidad and Tobago government on the attack on him, so to speak, by the Leslie Ramsammy, the PP government, and their friends in the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Your thoughts on that scathing news release?
I think it was perfect. A perfect response to them. Note well.
Yeah.
Keith Rowley never attacked Guyana. He said Guyana choose to purchase.
Yeah.
He did not. You understand? He spoke to his nation, telling them how about their safety and his intention to protect the nation, while mentioning all other CARICOM states and what they did, inclusive of Guyana. And the route he did not go because WHO, the vaccine is not WHO approved.
Approved, yes.
But Guyana took the opportunity, Guyana and other places took the opportunity to do what they did. He never mentioned anything else.
Yeah.
However, his parting shot, he says after he did all that, intervene during the election, intervene and assisted in the release of the fishermen, and also is in the midst of packing containers of food and other supplies to help the flood relief affected in Guyana.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, the government of Guyana begged through CARICOM for stuff. See what I'm saying? The PPPC, they're international and regional beggars.
Yeah.
We've got money that they can access through going to Parliament and collaborating with the opposition to have those monies released. They refuse to do that. They prefer to beg and show us as impoverished. Not the 21st century oil producing nation that Guyana is seeking to grow into.
Yeah.
They are picturing us. They are custom begging.
Yeah.
PPP likes to beg. They like handouts. So that's what they're doing. So that man's response to them, I hope he sues them all for misinterpreting and misconstruing all that he said.
Yeah.
I hope he sues them.
But it
same
is
GCCI,
slanderous.
GCCI.
It is slanderous, Nicole. The
Yes, it is.
GCCI went to the extent to say that he had a historical trait of demonstrating scant regard for the lives of Guyanese.
But they didn't list the historical trait.
No,
It's racist too.
Right, they needed to
It's
show.
racist too.
They needed to show in some way. When did Keith Rowley show scant disregard for the lives of Guyanese? It seemed as though that statement was just thrown in there as a personal jab.
It wasn't thrown in as a personal jab. It was thrown in as a racist inference. You understand? They're inferring to racist. This is what they are. And they like to boil on that. You understand? That is what they did. Right? Nothing thrown in.
Yeah. And it is so outside the pale. It's so out of pocket because the bane of their contention is that, look, the man which is false, because the man never said that the vaccines weren't good or anything like that. But again,
nothing of the sort.
Right. he highlighted that, look, Guyana has more vaccines simply because they took a decision to acquire vaccines that were not WHO approved, which is true.
It is a fact. It's a fact. That's what I said. It's a fact. So the PPP now colluded with probably their cohorts in the GCCI and others to
attack
the man, but the man's rebuttal was excellent for them.
Right. It just seems like an unnecessary attack. And you know what is strange here, Nicole, and I want to have your opinion on this. You know what is strange? It seems as though there was a simple solution to this problem, so to speak. The issue of information. The public hadn't all the information. The leader of the opposition is quite right in calling for them to release the information, because in the absence of the information surrounding this Sputnik-V vaccine, the people can only be suspicious. Instead of saying to Guyana, well, we understand your concerns. This is where we got it from. These are the batch numbers. This is the no. They decided to go on the attack and attack Rowley and attack everyone who said anything about the vaccine. It's as if you're ultra defensive for some reason. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yes, I saw it. And a reminder. Just now, the entire Caribbean can be up in arms with that same vaccine, with how it may have been sourced by other member states, because recently, even in Cayenne, French Guyana, the story is now broken and persons are reporting on it, and some Guyanese who live in French are, relaying those information on Facebook.
Yes.
But it got other Caribbean islands that took the same route the PPP did. So it just now, because people are hearing, just like how Rowley heard what they said and responded, you will see people in all the different Caribbean territories that may have taken the same route the PPP did, calling on their governments to provide the information.
Yes. Besides
that, it was indicated by the Honorable Chief Whip Christopher Jones that Parliament was closed for how long? Over 90 days. And with 400 and something questions that were submitted, probably 3/4 unanswered. And this just goes to show the level of disrespect the PPP has for Guyana. The level of disrespect.
Yeah.
Right? Not engaging with the opposition, and refusal, their borrowing habits, their spending habits, and their begging habits.
Yes, definitely. And I want to point out that particular thing. All of those questions in Parliament, we would have gotten a chance at least through Parliament to find out what the information was. and it falls in line, Nicole, with their modus operandi of so non-disclosure, secrecy, non-transparency, because you see what they're doing with the Public Accounts Committee. Questions must not be asked of their spending, and we know what is happening. Even this sitting of Parliament came as an afterthought, because they know they have to come, and it's a procedural thing. They already spent the money. They already bought these things. So they're coming now to put it to Parliament so that they can go through the process. And this is how they have operated.
And when they did put it through Parliament, of course, it has to be questioned. When questioned, they could not provide the facts.
Yes.
They could not provide the answers to questions like, you want $10 billion for flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Who's getting it? Which area getting it? Yeah. How much this area getting? Those answers they couldn't, but they have a whole quantity of money set aside for flooding, but it is not budgeted. And that's where we feel that that's why we always say that they are not transparent and they thief.
Yeah.
Nicole, that's how we feel. That's why we feel they steal.
Yeah. Nicole, I thank you for this, your brief comments. I know we're not on long because we want to transition to the Facing the Nation program with Anna Ferguson. But thank you very much for stopping in this midday on this an impromptu notice. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Right. Folks, you're talking there with Nicole Telford, our political correspondent, and we are unpacking the truth about the fallout of Sputnik-V vaccine gate, as it is here in Guyana. Lots more things to come. As we shared with you, the Trinidad and Tobago government condemns a statement by Ramsammy and the GCCI, somehow saying that Keith Rowley, when he spoke of Guyana acquiring vaccines that were not WHO approved, he didn't say that the vaccine, and again, the same thing that they did yesterday after the press conference with the leader of the opposition, it's the same thing they tried to do with Keith Rowley. In their haste to try and spin the news, they are pushing out false information, and you have to be aware of it. Rowley never said that the vaccine was bad or the vaccine wasn't good. He said that it wasn't WHO approved. And Guyana took the decision to purchase those, and he did not. That is essentially what the issue is. But that made them look bad. So they went on the attack. They called up the friends at Chamber of Commerce and said, look, attack this man. So the man answered them back this morning. Attack the man that is preparing stuff. You just went and begged Trinidad for some goods because you get flooding. When we got millions of dollars in the sovereign wealth fund, millions of US. But you don't want to touch it because you have to come to the opposition. And you and the opposition got to sit down to agree that we're taking money out of the sovereign wealth fund. By the way, it was David Granger who put that in place. It was David Granger when he was in power. He said, I will not be able to take money out of this sovereign wealth fund if I don't talk to the PPP, who was the opposition at that point in time. So because you don't want to talk to the opposition now, you leave that money in the sovereign wealth fund. You leave the money in the bank account there in New York, and you go and you beg Trinidad for pack some goods for your greens and soap powder or whatever. And the man was doing that. The man instructed his government to pack up these things and send to Guyana because you come begging. You're begging just because you don't want to talk to the opposition. And as the man is packing the thing, you get the GCCI and your old tire Ramsammy, the fossil, the dinosaur Ramsammy, to attack the man because the man basically said, look, you buy things that in WHO approved. That is the lunacy of the PPP. Again, we ain't thinking, we just attacking. Of course, the letter, the release said that he's asking people to desist from this falsehood. The same modus operandi we see yesterday now, after the press conference by the leader of the opposition, where the leader of the opposition said, hold your brakes. There's lots of confusion and secrecy around this Sputnik vaccine. Give us the information. Until you give us the information, let's hold up on using it. Oh, the sky fell. They run and get Kwame and Frank and Joseph Hamilton to sit down on NCN to say that the leader of the opposition said, don't take the vaccine. It's fake. The leader of the opposition never said that. Never said that. As we played in the video just now, he said that the information, and as his letter suggests, he is asking for information to be shared. He's asking for information to be shared. Let me show you it again, because persons, this is what he's asking for. Information to be shared. Don't be fooled, folks. That is it. Folks, as we said, we'll continue to cover the flooding situation in region number 10, region number 8, region number 9. The government is begging Trinidad and Tobago for stuff for the CDC. That is the situation we're in. That is the situation we're in. Right? Region number 10, the dike breakaway. Breakaway in the mining areas in region number 10. And that's a video that we were showing you earlier. Folks, it's sad. It's really sad. Don't let me take up any more time. I hope that the folks over at Facing the Nation, Miss Annette Ferguson, who is hosting that program today, is ready, and we're going to make way. But folks, more at the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to be sharing more and unpacking the truth, unpacking the credible and valid information at the 5 o'clock hour. Don't miss it. 5:30. The rush will be back with lots of information. Of course, today I promise that you will have a chance to have your say. So have your questions, your comments, your thoughts, your feelings, all your emotions, everything ready, because we're going to give you an opportunity to have your say this afternoon on the rush. Right. So let's go, folks. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Of course, those persons who are watching us from workplace, get back to work. Please ensure that you do the government's work, because you want to get paid. If you're looking at us from your homes, I hope you're pressuring your meat and everything is going well with your cooking. Let's work together. Let's work together for national development. Let's continue to work together for national development. My name is Randolph Critchlow, and I want to thank you very much for being a part of this midday breaking news. Do enjoy the rest of your day.